If you're watching this outside the new year, then it's still obviously very relevant, but it's a new year and people make resolutions. Some people think that resolutions are stupid. They don't mean anything. Why start in the new year? Personally, I love it. I really like to try and ride the wave of the new year and the resolutions and everything and really just go for it, write down some goals and things like that. Am I going to complete everything? No, of course not. But it's a good time to really ride the energy. So this video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be about what's stopping you doing email marketing. What's stopping you, tackling this thing that you've had in the back of your mind all this time. You think, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. What if I told you it's got nothing to do with any of the things that you think it is, or I'm worried about this happening, I'm worried about that happening, but really they're just fears that you have in your mind that you haven't answered yet. But luckily, with me being in the email game for so long, I can answer them for you. So let's debunk these fears. Let's look at these doubts and everything like that, these false beliefs and everything, and let's debunk them. I'll go through a big list here. If any of them resonate with you, great. Hopefully my answer or my debunking, resonates and it helps you take the action to actually do it. Make this the year where you actually do it. You take care of email marketing for your Shopify store and start to get that growth and that profit that email marketing can bring. So just at the end, there are actually 3 main fears. All these fears here, like, spamming, being pushy, whatever, all of these fears, really, they all tie into 3 main fears. So I'll get to that at the end. But anyway, let's dive into the fears that I see, that I've had myself, that I've heard people talking about, of why they don't want to do email marketing. These excuses that, people make up and they say, I'm not going to do it because of this or that. And really, it's just a fear. Number 1, this is the one I see all the time, the fear of spamming or annoying your customers or getting complaints, right? The number 1 thing, right? Because how many times do you hear people say, oh, I hate emails. I don't like to receive them, blah, blah, blah. Right? These are the loud minority of people, right? Really, there are millions and millions and really billions of people signing up to email lists to get information about products that they like. It's happening all day, every day, right? So they sign up to your list. They signed up. They literally want to receive emails from you. Okay. So just get that out of your head. They have signed up to receive emails from you. Maybe after a while, some people will end up dropping off and they'll end up unsubscribing, whatever. But just don't let this be something that stops you. As I put here, maybe once a month, you'll get an angry customer, right? Maybe once a month, you'll get someone saying, hey, unsubscribe me. I'm sick of these emails, blah, blah, blah. But remember, this is someone who's having a bad day and they just want to vent, right? It's got nothing to do with your emails. It's them having a bad day and they just want somebody to yell at, and they're using your email as the trigger and why they're annoyed. But really, it's got nothing to do with your emails. They signed up, they like the product, you send them good information. If they're having a bad day, sorry about it. All right, fear of being pushy or desperate. Okay, so when you're writing emails or you're designing emails, you're not just saying buy my stuff, right? It's not just buy my stuff. You're giving them reasons why your stuff is good. And then you're presenting a call to action, If you don't have a call to action, click here, shop now, whatever, get the promo, then people aren't going to take any action at all. And then all the other stuff is in the email, like the description of the product, or, just talking about how nice the product is. That's literally just helping them out. You're just helping them understand your product. You're helping them getting to the mind state of what it could be like to have the product. And then, okay, shop now. That's all it is. So you've got to have a CTA, otherwise they won't do anything. And you've got to talk nicely about your products. You're not just saying buy, buy, buy. Okay, you will make a better email than that. All right, so fear of poor copywriting, right? So fear of not being able to write something. And this is not necessarily something that stops people, but it does make things a lot longer, right? Because people, they edit little words here and there and, replace that word and blah, blah, all that. It's people get obsessed with it, right? Good copywriting is good to have. Of course it is, but it doesn't need to be amazing, right? And if you want, just go on mill.com, right? There's this website here with millions and millions of emails from loads and loads of brands. Look at some billion-dollar brands copywriting, right? It is so simple. It's really, really very simple. Short description of the product, a little bit of emotion, CTA. That's all it is. Most brands who are doing well in email do not have, amazing copywriting, right? If you can get amazing copywriting, if you're a good writer, great, go for it, but it's not necessary. So next one, fear of being judged by customers, right? I mean, this is so vague. I mean, if you follow Alex Hormozy, he talks about how, fears are in the abstract. And this one here is really, really abstract. It's like, oh, I don't want people to judge me. It's like, well, judge you on what, first of all? Is it like the style of your email? Well, if it's a style of your email, if the design isn't great, unpolished emails are actually kind of nice, because what people are seeing there is a small business owner really trying their best. I've seen unpolished emails do really, really well, as long as they're set up with a good structure, a hero, a bit of copy and a CTA, as long as it's set up for conversions, Nobody's really judging you on how stylish it looks. You'll see all sorts of people posting about, their amazing design. You see, big brands doing great. But I promise you, unpolished ones do great as well. People just see someone just trying their best. All right, they're not a great designer, but they love their product. So, don't fear about being judged by the quality of your email, because people actually like, some emails that look a bit raw and edgy. All right, here's another big one: fear of unsubscribes. Right, so this is a good thing. Right? It's just a natural filter, and it helps clean your list. I mean, what you're left with after people unsubscribe is people who want to stay subscribed and keep buying your products. Great. That sounds like a win to me. I mean, all you're going to be left with over time is the list of fans, the list of fans who really want to be on the list is just going to grow and grow and grow, and all the other people just unsubscribe. They're just going to unsubscribe over time, and your list of good people is going to grow and grow and grow. So unsubscribes are actually a good thing. All right, so fear of deliverability issues, right? So that it gets a bit technical and things like that. But really, if you put the technical stuff aside, like the DKIM and the SPF, blah blah, all this stuff, you get that set up, and Klaviyo makes it really, really simple. Really, it comes down to just sending good content. That's really all it is. Send stuff that people will find interesting. Send stuff that you find interesting. That's really what it comes down to. You could have a really ugly email, but if people open it and, it's interesting to them, then they're going to read it and they're going to like it. They're going to keep reading. So just work on good content. Don't worry so much about deliverability. All right. So fear of making mistakes publicly. So it happens, right? You send an email and the code doesn't work, or the link doesn't work, or there's a typo or whatever like that. If you do make a mistake, you can send an apology email, right? So, I'm sure you've seen them before, the apology email. Sorry about this. And I bet you've opened them as well. As I said, maybe the discount didn't work. But the great thing is, if you do make a big mistake, you can send the apology email and they work great. People love to see if someone screwed up. Like, oh, how did this person screw up? Let's see. What was it? I'll open apology emails of, email lists I've not looked at for many, many months. But if I see, oh, sorry about that, I'm like, oh, what did they do? Let me see. And I click on it, So apology emails work great. So if you make a mistake, don't worry, send an apology email. All right. So fear of committing to ongoing emails. All right. So it can feel overwhelming. It can feel like a shit ton of work to do. But really, the way to eliminate this fear is by planning in advance, right? You can plan your calendar in advance, like a month in advance. And trust me, once you've done that, you say, right, that email on that day, that email on that day, go throughout the whole month. When you've done that, you will feel a big sense of relax. And then when it comes to making them, just make them in batches as well. So, make the whole of the next 2 weeks all in one go. Right. And honestly, when you do that, boom, you're relaxed and you don't have to do anything again for like another week or 2 weeks or whatever. And if you do that, you'll realize it doesn't take as long as you think. Really, if you get good at it, you could probably design a campaign in 1 hour. You can make a whole campaign calendar in like under half an hour once you get good at it. So planning in advance can really eliminate this fear of all the work that you have to do. So fear of exposing inexperience. So maybe this is around your product. So maybe you feel that you don't understand your products as well as you should, but I guarantee you know more about your products than your customers. You're the one that's researching it every single day. You're the one that's looking at different angles. You're the one that's, looking for suppliers. You're the one that's looking at a way to make it different or whatever it is. I guarantee you know way more than your customers because you've spent so much time doing it and so much time working on it. And this is honestly why you should send emails as well, because people need your advice, right? You've done a lot of effort. You put in a lot of effort to research, and all you need to do is transfer that research into an email to help them and guide them to understand what they need to know about your products. All right. So back on the deliverability, fear of regulatory mistakes, all the, actually this is about GDPR. So I messed up there, but I thought it was more about the technical side of deliverability, but Klaviyo makes it really easy to set up the technical side. For GDPR, I mean, let me just answer this. If someone's subscribed, that's it. It's fine. You don't have to worry about that. I just misread that one. Reiterate. If you're worried about the deliverability technicalities, Klaviyo makes it absolutely simple. They've got step-by-step guides where it's automatic. You just click it, and then GDPR, if they're subscribed, it's fine to send an email. That's it. All right, fears that email will be ignored. So this just comes down to segmentation, right? So all you need to do is ensure that you're sending to people who have expressed interest by sending to people who have opened or clicked your emails. That's it. If they've already expressed interest, then they're the ones that are likely going to open again and click again. So when you get the correct segment and you're only sending to the correct segments of engaged customers, it won't be ignored. That's all it is. Just don't send to your entire list. That's all you have to avoid. All right. So doubt that email marketing still works. So on average, right? This is generally the statistic that I see around everywhere. So I'm just going to quote it. I mean, my clients do better than this, but on average, email drives a 36 times return on investment, right? And that's all the time. This is constantly quoted all the time. Year after year, you see the same stuff all the time. Email is the number one profitable channel when it comes to marketing. That's it. It still works. Everybody has an email address. Everybody's looking at their email address, every single day. Sorry, looking at their inbox every day, just about. So it works, right? Just get that out of your head. And actually, these ones I forgot to fill in. So let's have a look. Does it work in your niche? Yes, it does. It works for every single niche that there is. There's information and things to learn and, promotions and everything in every single niche. So it definitely works for yours. Doubt that your list is big enough. In the beginning, it won't be. If you've only got a few hundred people on your list, you're not going to make a lot of profit with campaigns, but you've got to do your automations, right? Because that's the stuff where people are expressing interest, adding to cart, viewing a product, whatever it is, they're on the site. The automations will work. So you definitely set up your automations. Then when your list gets to about 1,000, 2,000, it will start making sales. And then when it's like 10,000, 20,000, it's making more and more sales. So don't be worried about the list not being big enough. Just start practicing and sending emails to a small list anyway. And then when it does get bigger, you know what to do. Doubt that email can outperform ads. 100%. It outperforms ads in terms of ROAS. But anyway, email and ads, they work together. The ad traffic comes in, the emails then bring the people back who didn't buy first time, and they work together. So you need both. You 100% need both to work. Doubt they have anything valuable to say. So I mean, again, that I'm just going to delete that, but that goes with the one up above about being worried that you don't know enough about your products. Trust me, you do. You've researched it. You've looked into it. You will figure out things, what to say. And again, if you want, use ChatGPT. It'll help you out. Doubt the results will justify the effort. Just going to bring you back to this 36 times of ROAS. It will over time. It definitely will. Doubt email is worth learning versus other channels. It all works together. It all works together. So worries and anxieties. Worry about how often to send. All right. So here you go. I'll just tell you. Right. Start with 2 emails per week. If you got a small list, just do 2 emails per week. And then if it works well and you're getting good metrics and your list is growing to 1,000 plus, go to 3. And then if you're getting 10,000, 20,000 plus on your list and everything's working well, the open rate's good, then start to send 4. There you go. That's all you need to worry about that. And then, yeah, in terms of ideas, ChatGPT can give you loads of ideas. Worry about choosing the wrong platform. So, this is a funny one because really there is no wrong platform. I mean, as long as you send emails and they have the correct automations, abandon cart, abandon checkout, site abandon, browser abandon, welcome series, as long as they have that and then you can send a campaign, it's fine. It's the right platform. Now, I prefer Klaviyo. I mean, I've heard lots of good things about Omnisend. It works in a very similar way, but those are the market leaders. I mean, here I say don't go with anyone else, but you can, right? But Klaviyo and Omnisend, they're the market leaders. They're the ones at the forefront. You can still make money with the other platforms, but Klaviyo and Omnisend are going to have, some more features and they're going to have maybe easier user experience and things like that. But really, at the end of the day, as long as it sends emails, you're absolutely fine. And then again, it's not about the cost, right? So a lot of people worry about the cost of Klaviyo. I mean, first of all, I think it is cheap. It starts at $20 per month. I mean, that's pretty cheap if you ask me. But really, it's about the return on investment. So as it gets more expensive, you are making more money because you've got more people on your list. So really, that's all you have to worry about. Am I getting my money back? I mean, if it's a $2,000 a month, right? Are you making it back? All right. Well, 2,000 times the 36 ROAS, right? You should be making it back. You will be making it back. It's just about impossible to not make it back. All right. So overwhelm. So too many strategies and opinions. All right. Now I get this, right? There's a load of people out there talking about this trick, that trick, blah, 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 this amazing angle, this new flow, this type of subject line, whatever. There's loads and loads of information out there. But really what it all comes into is get your sign up form rate to 8%, set up the core 5 flows, right? So I didn't put these, that's a abandoned cart, abandoned checkout, browse abandoned, thank you flow, and welcome series. Those are my core flows. A lot of people will have, replace one of those, but I think those are the 5 best. And then you set up 4 extra flows. It could be repeat, it could be win back, it could be a bounce back flow, it could be abandoned collection flow, abandoned search flow, lots of different flows, but just set out the 5 core, then some 4 extra flows, right? Get 9, right? Then you're probably golden. And then send 2 to 4 campaigns per week, right? And that's it, right? So don't worry about getting confused about all these other options out there and, these tricks and hacks and, I need to do that hack. And, don't get shiny object syndrome. This is it. That's it. That's all you need to do with email marketing. All those shiny objects and everything, they all fall into that. How do you do the flows? How do you do the sign up form? How do you do the campaigns, right? But really that's it. And you can learn that as you go along. All right, so confusion, unclear where to start. All right, so anyway, the list above. This is it. Do this first. then do this, then do the 4 extra flows, and then no, sorry, actually, you can do campaigns in here if you've got a good list, and then build out the 4 flows. But obviously, the campaigns are regular all the time. All right, so next one, I don't have time, or I have more important things to do first. Sorry, you don't. If you don't have time, you're literally focusing on the wrong stuff because email marketing is so powerful, right? This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm in this game. This is why I'm trying to teach people about this stuff because it is so, so powerful, right? If you think you don't have time or you have more important things to do, you're just doing the wrong things, right? If you haven't got your email automation set up and you're not sending regular campaigns and you're focusing on something else, you're doing the wrong stuff, right? That's all there is to it. All right, get your ads going, once you've got your automations. You know, look into more products once you've got your automations going, do this stuff first, right? And then you could do the other stuff. I would never, ever send ad traffic to a store that doesn't have automation set up and then regularly sending campaigns. I just wouldn't do it. You just would lose a lot of money. So believe that ads are most important. All right. So, I've talked about this a couple times, but if you don't have email automation set up, then your ads will actually underperform. Right? They work together. The ad traffic comes in, 98% of people leave. But if you capture 8% or 10% of those people's email addresses, you start bringing them back in. And then you start converting that ad traffic that you've already paid for, right? That's what it does. That's what email does. It capitalizes on the traffic that you're paying for. And without it, the ad traffic just goes straight through. And they just don't come back. 98% of people not coming back. But with email, it brings them back with your automations and campaigns. And then believe that more traffic matters more than retention. Right. So this one's very, very nuanced, really, because, I've seen some stores that will just keep driving more and more traffic. Maybe they got a big budget and they can make more sales, but really email will make even more sales if they set up their automations. So if they've got a big budget and they're happy to pour money into the ads, but they ain't got email, but then all of a sudden they set up email, boom, it will go up like crazy. Right. And email is a top of funnel converter. That's what it is. I mean, it's also, bottom of funnel. It's also, past the bottom of funnel. It gets retention, brings people back in. It does all of it. It does all of it. So, it's not one or the other. It's everything working together. Now let's go on to the 3 main fears. The 3 main fears. All it comes down to is I don't want to waste money. I don't want to waste time. And what if it works? Can I handle it? So I don't want to waste money. Let's look at that. Email is the cheapest form of advertising after SEO, right? SEO is literally just effort, unless you pay for someone, but it's literally just effort. Now with email, you do have to pay for a software and that's it. But it's just, again, like SEO, it's just a matter of putting in the effort. It's not like ad traffic where you have to keep putting money, like a lot of money in to drive traffic. It's a subscription cost and then that's it. And the rest is your effort. And again, as I said before, Klaviyo starts at $20 a month. If you can't afford $20 a month, then that's it. Just get out, work on something else, save up some cash. But it's the cheapest form of advertising, after SEO. So you're not going to waste money. Don't worry. Don't want to waste time, right? I'm going to flip this and say doing nothing about email marketing is wasting time, right? If you do nothing, that's wasting time. Learning, implementing, making mistakes, and improving is time well spent. You have to go through that learning curve. You have to learn what works. You have to learn what doesn't work. You have to do it in order to make it worth your time because you can't go from 1 to 10. You have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can't go from 1 to 10. You can't go from having nothing to everything successful or immediately. You have to go through that rough patch of learning, making mistakes and getting annoyed and then improving, right? You just can't go from 1 to 10. So doing nothing is wasting time. That, doing something is time well spent. And then what if it works? Can I handle it? What if it works really well? What if I get like record sales? It's like, if this is a dream that you've started, you will make it work, right? You are going to do it. If you got into this because you wanted more money, you wanted free time with your family, or, whatever it is, you love your product. If you've got a dream, trust me, you're going to make it work. And that fear of can I handle it is kind of negated because you will handle it later. You're just going to do it because you like it. So don't worry about that. So that's it. That's the end of the video. I'm going to link another video here as well, which is about the exact steps of setting up your Shopify account. So, email comes in at like, number 10, I think it is, number 8. So watch that video as well, because that can help demystify a lot of stuff. Because I did talk about not wasting time on the wrong things here. So check out that video and that can help really give you clarity of what to do first. And then, leading on the next steps without, wasting money on ad traffic too early and things like that. All right. Thanks a lot. See you in the next one.